Hello and welcome to Spoilers, Morty. This is the show about Rick and Morty. The only one. We're sort of like pioneers if you think about it. Today we'll be watching Morty's Mind Blowers.
I call them Morty's Mind Blowers. And we'll be doing this instead of interdimensional cable.
You guys doing Morty's Mind Blowers?
Morty's Mind Blowers? Here's one I call Morty's Menagerie. They don't all have titles though. It's not a Simpsons Halloween special.
Oh, do those count as a real flashback?
They all presumably happened.
Yeah.
So I would say yes.
Okay.
I mean, the characters were watching them.
Right.
So you could talk me out of it because it was them experiencing the memories again.
Yeah, but I feel like that is probably as close as we're ever going to get to a real flashback.
Right, because we were still watching them in the past.
Right. No, I'd count that one. So go ahead and
Okay.
Boom. There you go. You got it.
Yay.
Did you get a bingo yet?
Maybe. No, I didn't. But you certainly knocked it out of the park in this one.
Multi-dimensional TV. I didn't think they were going to watch it, and then at the very end, they were watching it.
I did write the wrong words, and that's my fault.
Oh.
Because they said interdimensional cable.
Oh. Well, we know what we mean.
We should do some confetti or something for the bingo, I think. Like, do you have one of those party vuvuzela things?
No, I don't. But
Miniature
if you need me to go
vuvuzelas?
get one, I could get one.
I mean, it'd be good. It'd be a good sound effect to play for a bingo.
Yeah.
Astute viewers will note that two Meeseeks appeared for about 5 frames in the background of one of the shots. Totally inconsequential.
But it still puts me one step closer to
a
another
second bingo.
Yeah.
And you also, I would say, get credit for Morty getting fed up.
Why?
He almost didn't.
But
he did physically fight Rick.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty fed up.
Thank
honestly.
you, Morty.
So we've almost got like an entire board blacked out.
So together, or we almost have an entire board not blacked out.
Yes. That's another one we're gonna have to rewatch and just be like, all right, what actually all happened in this episode? Because
there was so much. My
there was
brain
way too much.
Started to hurt because it was just taking in way too much information, and I got hung up on the squirrels.
Yeah. The squirrels were traumatic.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah. I will say, though, I'm surprised gender bending didn't show up. Out of everything that they did, Morty possessed by a sentient space worm that gave him godlike powers that was apparently twice the size of him.
Yeah. He seemed to be ingested by at least 2 or 3 different aliens.
That we saw.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. He's resilient.
He's inside of a lot of things.
He is the Mortiest Morty. Like, I'm surprised that something, like, farther from the past didn't show up. Everything seemed like it was pretty much this season, or, like, in between season. Well, I guess it couldn't have been in between seasons because he was in interdimensional jail. Yeah. But, like, you know what I mean? It all seemed like it was fairly recent. So I was surprised there was no, like, reference to Squanchy or anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like a throwback to, like, Bird Person or something along those lines.
The other family members were barely even in it.
Right.
This was all about Rick and Morty.
On a side note, Summer said something at the very end of the episode. Did you catch that? I thought, well, yeah, she's like, no wonder you guys are always fighting and you're so behind. She said something where it seemed like they were working on something. I need to re-listen to, or like rewatch that episode to see if I caught that correctly.
Right.
But how she said it, I was like, can we like talk about that? Like that was a plot bomb if I've ever heard one.
Or was it a reference to not being able to finish episodes of the show in the writer's room, alluding to a delay or cancellation? Because if Summer was being snarky about getting Rick and Morty done,
right,
then I'm totally going to take that.
No wonder you're constantly fighting with each other and behind schedule.
What?
One of the writers or somebody took a picture of the whiteboard plot points that they were trying to come up with for different mind blowers. Evil Ewoks was one that apparently didn't make it. Bookalizer was circled. Was that a thing? Panda fight. Something about cake stairs. Number 10, women versions. Yep. It looks like it was circled even.
Oh.
And yet did not happen.
Yeah, definitely have to rewatch that one again because that one had a bunch of like little tiny nuggets here and there. But I really liked how smart Morty's getting. Because I bet season 1 Morty wouldn't have realized that the color code was actually a color code. Whereas this Morty picked up on it relatively quickly. And how Rick was instantly like, I don't color code. And you're like, oh, you're lying. Like,
yep. And Jerry's was just a cassette tape.
Oh my God. Jerry was able to run in that simulation at 5% power, and like everyone was glitching out and he didn't notice. So I feel that the cassette tape is a throwback to how like he operates at.
Yep. He wasn't even in most of his memory.
Right?
Which is interesting.
Jerry. Why did I make so many predictions with you in them?
Yeah, no kidding. He's barely in it at all.
I know. Well, same with Beth and Summer. I'm actually a little disappointed that Summer isn't in as much. I was really excited in episode 1 because I was like, oh, sweet. Like, Summer's going to be in here. Like, I expected her to show up, like, at least in half of them. But that hasn't happened.
It's a little weird how much they're goofing off. But like Rick and Morty.
Right, yeah.
Like, they're taking a lot of time to just do a silly thing.
Right.
Whereas they were definitely trying to accomplish things in the first 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
Like, Rick was trying to get something, or someone was like...
Well, I mean, you don't have to do that, though, anymore, because the Federation's gone. So it's not like he has to hide from anyone. So he can probably go get all the stuff he wants, because the Federation won't, like, stop him from getting it. So that's probably why they're slacking off more.
So how many times did you say that you don't think either of us would get a bingo?
Like once every episode, at least. And we finally did it! Yay! Well, actually, I will say this. During the second one, like the second episode, the first one we had the predictions for, we both got like 3 or 4? I felt really confident. Yeah. And then it was, oh no, now we got 3, now we got 1. And that around diminishing returns time was when I was like, yeah, I doubt we're gonna. But yay.
We know what we're doing, you guys.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at these boards right now. They're like full up.
I'm a pro.
I mean, we haven't actually made any money off of this, but if someone would like to give us some, then we'd be pros at this.
Right?
I can't leave that in the recording.
Okay. Astute viewers would note, as you were saying before I rudely interrupted you.
You're still interrupting.
I was trying to segue you.
So if we had made predictions about BoJack Horseman, would you have been able to guess literally anything that happened in that season?
No. I would have guessed that BoJack got really sad. Yeah. And that would pretty much be the only right prediction. I don't know. Maybe I would probably guess that, like... because that's been a long time coming, which is easy for me to predict now because they did. But
I don't think we would have gotten a bingo on that one.
No, we wouldn't have. I would not have guessed that Princess Carolyn. I would not have guessed that Todd employed rabid clowns to get people into shape.
Yep.